right, we're back. Welcome back to East Philadelphia, Ropeadope TV. Lewis here, Fabian Brown.
Yes. Feel good?
I'm feeling great.
Wait, do it again.
Double back tap bro hug. Got it. Welcome everybody. Here we are. We're pretty pumped up because a train came through town today that was twice the usual length.
More than
which
twice.
Means that the economy is already just picking up for things like oil and coal and stuff like that. It was fantastic. Just took me back in time. All right, we're coming in with. I don't know what I'm going to say in these things.
Oh my lord!
I'm just as surprised as you are, bro.
Maybe the train will come back this way with all of that, so we can catch it.
Well, presumably they have to unload it, and it goes back to Philly. Yeah. Right here, Offer for Wilson.
Offer for Wilson.
Offer for Wilson is the name of the song. I'm not kidding. Where are you? Where's your head right now?
Dennis the Menace.
Dennis the Menace? No, I'm on Castaway.
Oh.
The Wilson. Yeah. Like he got an offer. I don't know. Anyway, we're listening to Jared Sims.
Nice.
From Boston, Massachusetts. Jared was on a record that came out on Ropeadope a little while back. Akashic Record is the name of the band.
Okay.
A little spiritual reference there. And Akashic Record will have another album out with us at Ropeadope this summer. But first comes Jared Sims. And it's coming up fast. Funky.
Sure is.
You know?
In 3. Baritone saxophone. Jared plays sax. Who's the saxophonist? Do you know? Got
it. Yeah, the sax players never really get as much credit as they should. We got all the trumpet players, we got drummers that always kind of get that big thing, but we got to focus in on the sax players. We are going to have a record coming up from Frank Catalano, speaking of sax.
Nice!
It's a live record called Tokyo something.
Okay.
I'll let you know. All right, so what happened today? I was in the basement because we have a new thing happening. I can't even talk about this, but I'm going to say keep your eye on the Ace Hotel in New Orleans on Jazz Fest time. Not only is there something cooking with Worldwide FM and some Ropeadope artists. Worldwide FM is Giles Peterson's new radio station, internet radio. But there's another surprise thing that's happening involving Ropeadope legacy artists, and we'll just leave it at that. But while I'm in the basement digging through, looking for a master, I uncovered this box.
That's what this
of
is.
Ropeadope masters from back in the day.
Legacy.
You know, you save stuff. Here is the Detroit Experiment.
Wow.
12-inch vinyl. Original master. And what was interesting about it, and we're going to have to go through this because now here's the Detroit Experiment revised.
Okay.
Right? And then 24-bit files for mastering. So I want to dig into that. There were about 5 or 6 different Detroit Experiment ones, and I know that record had been changed up a bit. It went out to Carl Craig in Detroit after it was done here in Philly, so I'd like to go back in time and
compare.
Maybe we'll pop each one of these up and people can see the evolution of that record. Tin Hat Trio.
Yes.
Willie Nelson. Original with the studio. The original masters.
Just hanging out in the basement.
Yeah, well, you know, you put stuff away. You find it later, right?
My lord.
What else do we have? Tin Hat Trio Book of Silk. This one, this is interesting. It says, Master, do not touch. I love it. Oops. Project Logic, live at the Wetlands, New York City. Now, I have a really important question about this, and I have to find out. Just going to take that little break here for a minute. song. This is a track coming up from the Charles Owens Quartet. I want to make sure it wasn't quintet. I think it's Charles Owens Quartet. With some, Charles is a well-known New York player, but he lives in Charlottesville, Virginia, so he's connected up with the Jellystone crew, Butcher Brown. So the quartet is Andrew Randazzo on bass, Corey Fonville, I believe, on drums.
Okay. Which,
you know, who plays with Christian Scott. So they got an interesting sound. And that record is coming up on April 21st. So back to this thing. On 9/10/01, one of the last shows, quite possibly the last booked show at the Wetlands. I think they did a few after that, but very close. Project Logic played on 9/10/01. Now these are the late hours of 9/10/01.
I'm just now getting the date.
Important day. And it's downtown. The Wetlands is right on top of the Hollins-Holland. Was. Fulton Street, maybe? We've got a special guest in our studio on us tonight who is... He may be on or off camera. He's there. Will Hansa from Escaper joining us. He's now on camera.
On and off.
Welcome. So that's why I keep looking over. He's just compelling. He's friend. It's a beautiful thing. The question at hand. So I know that on that night there was a massive Project Logic show with a lot of special guests at the Wetlands.
Okay.
We also know that the show ran so late that a lot of people did not get up. I think the show was 4:30 in the morning.
Whoa.
A lot of people went home to Brooklyn, never got back to the city the next morning on 9/11/01.
Wow.
Right? So my question is whether this recording, Project Logic Live at Wetlands, New York City, which we released at some point, is in fact that show or not. And I don't know. Because I have known about this the entire time that I've been involved with Ropeadope. This is released at EMI Japan. But I never thought that this could be that show. And I have audio on another disc for half of the show, but I don't have the first disc, the first half of the show. And I've been looking for a long time. Recently, somebody posted some video
from that show?
An archivist from New York posted video from that show. So we're going to have to dig and find out if this is in fact the same show or if this is a different Project Logic Live at Wetlands. But, you know, I guess the original Project Logic band, DJ Logic, Scott Palmer, Mike Whiteman, Casey Benjamin, who is plays with Robert Glasper.
Nice.
Stephen Roberson, with a mystery guest, Vernon Reed, and also Stephen Bernstein. So I kind of feel like because of the list of guests and a lack of the other guests who I know or who I had heard were there on the 9/10 night, that this may not be that recording, but certainly open to everybody. Somebody at archive.org can probably put this all in perspective for us. This is a Japanese import. So, strange things you find in the basement. One last thing.
That would have been a good let's ask Nick.
We should ask Nick. We will. Next time we're going to come back and we're going to ask Nick for the details on this. And it will all make sense.
Just saying.
When you ask Nick. We're basically trying to integrate an Ask Nick segment into this show.
Don't give him any more. Don't give him any more.
I just want to say that I have a spinoff planned already. Okay?
Oh,
so this is the golden days of CD packaging right here. Jazz and Over release, In Between, Ropeadope 2002. And there's a basic, jewel case version of this running around and has been out for some time. But the original was cardboard booklet, solid pieces.
That's so hip.
Not only did I find a couple of these, this one's a little bit worn, but I did find an unopened copy, which will now go in my archives. So it pays to clean the basement, folks. And there's more. There's just, you know, maybe we'll roll some of this stuff out. Maybe we'll pop some things up on archive.org and go from there. That's all I got. We're done?
We're not done.
Okay.
It's a good 10-minute show, though, right there.
I'll check this one off. Is that good? What do you got? What are you bringing to the table?
I like to ask you questions, so let's go back to let's go back to the Detroit. Let's see.
Detroit experiment. Mm-hmm.
So, what I love about the story about Ropeadope is the transition from the old to the new. And so, where were you? What was your role at Ropeadope at this time?
Right. I would have just been involved with working on the clothing line.
Okay.
At Ropeadope.
See, I don't know if a lot of
people
are...
Not involved with the music in any way.
So, talk to me a little bit about that, because I think that's an interesting story in and of itself on how you did a lot of repurposing of...
We haven't done that yet?
No. I mean, I've heard it, but they have not heard it.
Okay. Yeah, so I was in a warehouse by the railroad tracks.
Not these railroad tracks.
Well, they might connect. I'm not sure. Probably. Yeah.
I love it.
That's the way that works.
I love where we're going with this.
Follow the train line just west of here through Philadelphia and head out what they call the Mainline towards Harrisburg and California, basically. You know, so somewhere up there is a little town called Downingtown, Pennsylvania.
Downingtown.
Where I used to live. I lived on a farm up there, and I had a nice, comfortable living as a tie-dye manufacturer. So we had a factory there where we made tie-dyes for different people, and one day I was working with a graphic designer, and she was kind of an ex-hippie like me.
Okay.
But a little less ex. She was still more into it. So she was kind of very flowery and patchouli-ish. And she said, yeah, I really like what you're doing here. And I met this guy the other day. He's in the music business. He's doing clothing for this record label. You should talk to him. You know, I just feel like there's, you know, a connection there. I'm like, okay. So he came in, and he kind of, and this is 2001, 2002 probably. We need a break here.
Pause for the cause.
Because we were talking, you know, one of the cross references here that makes no sense at all, that makes all the sense in the world, is that train line is called the Mainline. Mainline out in the suburbs of Philadelphia are called the Mainline because of the main line that runs from Philly to California. And this is a band called Jesus on the Mainline.
What are they called?
Jesus on the Mainline.
That's the name of the band.
Mm-hmm. And we're sneaking this track in here, and I'm hoping that this badass band, I think there's like 15 of them, don't come down and hurt me for this, because this is going to air tomorrow. Sorry, fellas, but we're excited about this record. Alright, that's all you get. I'm going to keep it low now.
Don't give it too much.
So, the guy walks into my office. Swear to God, the first thing he does is reach over and tweak my nipple.
What?
He's just like, hey. I was like...
Is that some weird brotherhood test, or what is that?
I'm not really sure. Really interesting character. But we sit down, he talks about what he needs, and he needs somebody to print t-shirts, he needs somebody to do the quality control, he needs somebody to set up a web store. This is 2002. Wow. Okay, he needs somebody to pick and pack orders, set up shipping, and mail this stuff all over the world. And...
someone to head his clothing line.
In my inevitable fashion, I said, yeah, we can do all that. We got it. So I just set it up. We figured out how to do it, set up a web store. I can't even remember what platform we were on. And then as soon as we started doing that for Ropeadope, it was obviously Ropeadope. And then OK Player called, The Roots, and Reverend Al Green, and Def Jux, and Duck Down, and Studio Audience. Who else? Remember what was in that warehouse? Like Daptone?
Yeah, Daptone.
Tons, right? There was just stuff out. And so soon we have, 50 web stores and
shit.
racks and racks of CDs and 45s and T-shirts, and we're just picking and packing orders. It hit the pinnacle with Modest Yahoo. The pre-order for his record, I don't remember the name of that record, but I think we had 15,000 pre-orders. 15,000 CDs pre-ordered through our warehouse. And we had these big crates and postal service trucks coming in and out, and we were just like packing everyone, labels coming out of the printer. We learned how to do it all, that's what I was doing in 2002, was ramping up the
clothing side of things.
I love that you find my history interesting.
Well, because it all ties into where Ropeadope is at today. It's all part of the legacy. And I think this story is just...
feels a little disconnected for me.
Really?
Because now we're just... the clothing line, Ropeadope clothing line, has been sort of neglected by me over the years, and we're just so heavy in with all these releases. 60 releases this year. Things are just cooking.
60 releases.
You're on the phone with NPR today.
Yeah.
We're hitting genres, people around the world. Just everything is sort of coming into this place, and it's getting really exciting. But it's all about recorded music, and it's not about the clothing. It's not about my the things that I learned how to do in that part of my life. But they are fun stories. What do we got next? Adam Turchin.
Yes.
Los Angeles, California. Another sax player. Ran into Mr. Terrace Martin in the saxophone store.
Oh, this is a great story.
And I met Adam the same night that I met Terrace. They were hanging out in LA, and we talked about that. Running down the street with Sput. What's the date on Adam's record?
I'm looking it up now.
April. Sometime in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Take a look for Adam Turchin. This one features Rose Gold, who we've heard on the Terrace Martin Gold Portraits record, who is divine, my humble opinion.
April 28th, 2017.
So the week after. I thought it was April. I just getting the dates.
There we are.
Man, the schedule is crazy. People, you gotta get on this and keep up.
Is it too early to talk about the other thing that we got tonight?
Live music?
No, definitely too early for that. Yes. I can't believe you said that. The subscription thing.
No, it's actually on my list. So we're gonna put up a Bandcamp subscription over the next 24 to 48 hours.
I love this.
Where people can subscribe to Ropeadope as a label on Bandcamp and get all of our releases as they come out. It's going to be a lot of great music and some perks, and hopefully a lot of connected community around Bandcamp. Do you use Bandcamp?
I do. Ropeadope's been with Bandcamp for a minute.
Well, that's one of the things we do. Is like we see something new come out, we just jump right on it. So that was it. I mean, that first week we had the founder answering my emails from the support email, and I love it. I kind of feel with Bandcamp that we could have built even more, but I like what they do, and I think we built pretty well. Bandcamp is great because it's like direct to the fans, and vice versa. Fans get to send emails right into the artist. We as a label will handle some of those email things, but I want everybody to know, like if you send something in to an artist's Bandcamp page, it goes right over to them. You know, if it's something that we can answer, and it's funny, we get personal stuff all the time.
Really?
Oh yeah, can you send something to my son, or
wow,
I can't make it to the show, is there anything, and we send it over to the artist directly, and the artist comes back just like that. So it's kind of a neat system because we can help the artists field that stuff while they're on the road and busy doing everything else, and send the important things through, and support them with anything else that a fan might need. So that's going to go up on downloads.ropeadope.com. With that, I want to talk a little bit about, we got Adam playing, right? And we're going to go into another track here. Artist First Records in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania has an album coming out, and this is coming out fast, April 7th. The band, can you pull it up?
Kin for Life.
Kin for Life, Nora and IQ out of Atlanta. I gotta tell you, like, I listen to this and I'm just like, I almost want to blush. It's like a very intimate song, which I know has nothing to do with me, but I can't even say it right. My boo. I don't even sound right saying that, but there you go. Sultry, sexy, interesting. The album's called Firework.
WERK.
Isn't it funny how the difference? We have all these different imprints, and now we're getting a lot of different style of music, and yet everything has a similar groove. Am I wrong?
Oh, well, if it doesn't have a similar groove, it has some kind of crazy connection. And again, that's why I love Ropeadope and all the artists, because it's like a family tree. You can connect everybody to somebody else, and like the lineage is just stupid. It really is.
Well, this is a good one because Melody Forrester, who runs Artist First Records, who's bringing out Kin for Life, and she works with Jeff Bradshaw. I think we might expect something from him in a while. We're also going to have a Diggable Planets live record.
This is great.
Yeah. Joe Jordan Experiment.
Yep.
She works with all these people in Philadelphia. I met her because Jimmy Stevens, who's going to be in here this week to do an interview, was in Philadelphia. He's from Philly. He lives in New Orleans. But he was here to do a Mermaid Rescue Week, he calls it. So it's a week of shows to support victims of domestic abuse.
Wow.
So Melody was over there probably with Jeff, I'm thinking, with Jeff Bradshaw, or with representing somebody and helping out with the whole event. It's a fantastic event, and it's coming up. There'll be another one here in Philly soon. So that's how I met Melody.
Wow.
And then she said, well, we really like what you're doing. We have some artists that, I have some artists that I represent. And so we just started up.
How long ago would you say that started?
It's been a couple years. I want to mention Sugar Tongue Slim record that we put out is also with Artist First.
STS.
It's been a couple years. Some of these things take a little while to cook. Sometimes they happen right away. Which leads me right into what's happening with RSVP Records. Dallas, Texas, Sput Seawright from Snarky Puppy and many other projects. Got it. Been kind of quiet for a while. It's been a little while since we announced it. We had one Ghost Note record, we had the King's List record, and we just went through his release schedule for this year, and all I can say is pay attention. There's, I think, 5 records already scheduled. They're going to be very interesting. Andy Waddell will be the first, and we look for Nathan Deshawn second.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't tell you what the other 3 or 4 are, but it's going to be exciting. Sput's a solid producer. I think he's producer on some of these. And we'll throw it right in. Sput is Also producer on the new Sidewalk Chalk record, which will be out in June. So
Brilliant.
I can't fit any more. We have more to put in there, but I can't fit it in.
How many? 5 Grammys? 6 Grammys?
This coming year?
For
I'm
Sput.
not predicting anything.
No, Sput.
Oh, sorry. Edit that out. I'm hoping for 7. But I don't know. Might be 7.
That's crazy.
But yeah, he and Sean got a little competition going in my estimation.
I love that.
Well, there we go, folks. When the music's over, it's time to go. Thank you. Fabian, thank you.
Love it.
Downloads.ropeadope.com. Check us out. Pay attention, because there's some stuff happening. See ya.